I was diagnosed around 13 years old with Crohn's disease. And so it was um, pretty much like torture. Is the only way to describe it. It was extreme pain. I feel like Crohn's disease can take many different versions. I had the version that was a lot of strictures basically formed in my colon. It was, a situation where I felt like I was always living basically to prepare myself for that next stricture to pop up. And for anyone who's had that issue, it's extremely painful. It can kind of pop up out of nowhere. Doesn't care where you are, what you got going on in life. It just would pop up out of nowhere, and it would make life pretty tough to live.
And
I
Craig, I mean,
also, yeah.
you were only 13. How old are you now?
Mhm. So I'm 43 now, so 30 years.
43 years young.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
30 years ago, and 30 years ago, we're talking about 93, right? So, because
Hmm.
it's 2023, it's June right now.
There wasn't much out there. I mean, you would pretty much go to the doctor. The doctor would give you prednisone, and you'd go home. There were some new drugs, Azathioprine or Imuran at the time, that was out there. It wasn't until later in life that Remicade popped up, and fortunately, I was seeing a doctor who was kind of on the front end of new medical technologies and treatments. Um, so around the age of 23, I started on Remicade, and that really kind of opened up new doors for me. I remember laying in bed at night, you know, feeling different, not really sure why. And it later dawned on me it was because the pain was gone. Like that pain that had been there for 10 years or so, just ongoing in the background that I'd probably gotten used to, I guess, wasn't there anymore.
But even up to this point, you're in your 40s, you've been on azathioprine, Remicade, you've had multiple strictures, you've had to work on those, never had to get a surgery, which is fantastic.
Yep. Yep.
And but
Not
you're
that it wasn't recommended either.
yeah.
It was recommended, and when I was younger, I'd say around the age of 15, and I insisted on my doctors that there had to be another way.
Yeah.
I absolutely refused. My parents refused as well.
But so now you're sitting here, it's 30 years later, and you're still feeling like you're not where you need to be. And you had
Hmm.
tried, done a lot, diets, restriction of eating, working on your lifestyle.
Hmm.
And when you came and looked at the Shield program, what were your symptoms at the time?
It was, very, very limited compared to what they had previously been.
Hmm.
But I would still see the occasional blood in the stool, multiple bowel movements, sometimes loose, sometimes constipated,
Yeah.
sometimes strictures forming. Um,
Mhm.
you know, Sometimes those would have to be not surgically treated, but I would have to have procedures done to remove the strictures.
But
Hmm.
you were dealing
Hmm.
with, I mean, pretty extreme bloating, and then a
Yes.
moderate amount of gas, cramping, and
Hmm.
pain.
Yeah.
And you were dealing with a low to, just a little bit of blood coming here and there, mucus coming here
Hmm.
and there, still getting a good amount of urgency, loose stool, and then sometimes zero bowel movements, sometimes four or five. And
Exactly.
so and this is after eating very strict, working on it for all these
Hmm.
years, kind of knowing your body, being on azathioprine and Remicade. And when you joined the program and you said, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot, what made you feel
Hmm.
like this could do something different than what you had seen over the last 30 years?
Well, for one thing, it felt like the stories aligned. It felt like I was dealing with folks who had Crohn's, who had
Yeah.
colitis, who knew not only what I was dealing with from the perspective of trying all these different diets and wanting something out there to work, but then also they knew kind of the psychological background effects that kind of go on with it, with waking up in the morning and just not knowing, what's today going to bring, kind of thing. Like, how am I going to feel today? Am I going to have the energy to give this presentation at work, or to go to the gym later, or what? I didn't feel like I had that sense of security. And then after the initial call that I had with Coach Arman, I really felt like you were not only just giving a diet. It wasn't about that. It was about an entire lifestyle.
Well, let me ask you this. So what are your symptoms now?
I mean, they're very limited. I mean, 1 to 2 bowel movements a day.
1 to 2 bowel movements a day. Are you having any blood, mucus, urgency, loose stool?
No blood,
nope. None of that? Any bloating, cramping, pain, normal gas?
No, normal gas, normal. Bloating. The difference is with the bloating is I know why I'm having the bloating. And so, like, I can understand. I now, like, I tell everyone, I look at a plate of food, I can analyze that plate of food. I know, okay, this is prepared this way, that's prepared that way. Do I want to go there today? Oh, you know what? I haven't had a piece of cake in a while. I'll eat that, but then I know how to take care of it after the fact, and I know what to expect.
Do you feel like you're on a diet right now, or do you have freedom to choose?
No, I mean, it's all up to me, right? It's all up to me and how I prepare my food. And if I want to go to a restaurant, what's on the menu that I feel comfortable with. I'm not avoiding anything, I'm still eating, but I may scale certain things back, or only eat them on special occasions, or, things like that. I do a fairly intense workout gym regimen with a trainer and everything. And the measurables are there. Like, I'm doing better at the gym.
So your fitness is better, your bowel movements are better, energy's great, stomach feels good. I mean, all these things, and this is after 20, 30 years of biologics. Craig, and let me ask you this. Coach Arman, how important was it to have a one-on-one coach like Coach Arman to be there for you and not just go through a program, but to have one-on-one coaching, have DM support, and help train and educate and refine your plan over these last 6 months?
I mean, like, to me, like I said, that was one of the things that drew me to the program, was someone with experience of this disease and understanding just all of the different aspects of the way that a disease like this can affect your lifestyle, and the mentality of a person with Crohn's disease and having recovered from it, and having those experiences where it flares up again later, and things that there's something to be said for that. But then also, I think he was able to take the information that I provided to him of things that I've been able to tolerate, of because I have had the disease for so long, and knowing the diets and the medications and everything that I've been on in the past, he was able to work with me and really, like you said, tailor the program so that it fit with what I knew worked, and then also introduce some things that he found in his situation that have helped, or with other folks that he's coached.
Two last questions I have for you is there anything in the program that, you've been in here for 6 months, your plan's been customized and refined many, many times, but is there one thing you'd like to highlight?
So what this program did was take my situation, the things that I loved, and the things that worked for me, and like help me package that into a place where I can feel empowered to basically live life feeling as well as I've ever felt. I mean, literally, I feel as good today as I've ever felt in the past, 30 years. And I mean, the open community as well that the program, allows access to is just fantastic.
So Craig, I love it. Last thought, anything you'd like to say out there to anyone out there who's listened to your story and journey?
I think there's always options out there for people, and while there may not necessarily be a full cure for Crohn's disease, there are options like the S.H.I.E.L.D program that'll help you to live a fulfilling life and make you feel empowered to have intelligent conversations with doctors, to be informed of the latest like treatment options, to be out there, you know, living your life in the world without the concern of a disease that can prevent you from doing the things you want to do. I now, after going through this program, feel even more empowered than I did previously. And those systems they're out there. This system is the best that I've come across in terms of the advice that they provide, the people, the coaches involved, the community that they've put together. So yeah, it's a really great system, and you can improve. I know at times it doesn't feel like it when you're in the middle of a flare up, but there is opportunity out there for you.